That would help. Why does school have to be painful? Why does learning have to be painful? What else can we do to make it matter for kids? Make it relevant. What else can we do? Intervene early. Usually the signs of trouble show up real early, don't they? Spend time figuring out what's going on. Why are you acting out? What's going on there with you? Suppose you find out the reason why the kid's acting out is because their father's in jail and they're really pissed off about that. Be nice, build a relationship. I work with a school in the South Bronx, Mount Haven Prep. They do proactive mentoring for a targeted number of kids. They got kids coming in who they know have a record of behavior problems. Some have criminal records. They say, before this kid comes in, you got this one. You got Jose. You're going to have Lucas. You're going to have Marcus, okay? You got them. That means you're going to get to know them. You're going to go do home visits. You're going to call home. You're going to get to know the teachers. And when Marcus gets in trouble, you're going to be there to talk to the teacher. Because they believe that if they intervene early and they build a strong relationship, they can prevent bigger problems. And they do. They do. It works. Their strategy is, instead of pushing the kids out, pull them in closer. I was visiting a school in Berkeley. I'm getting a tour by the assistant principal. He's very proud of his school, showing me around the renovations. We get to his office. There's a little boy about 8 years old waiting for him. He says, you see that kid? He said, there's a prison cell in San Quentin waiting for that boy. I said, how do you know that? He said, well, the way he behaves, he's got a father in prison, he's got a brother in prison, and I can tell that that's where he's headed now. Then I asked, well, given what you know about this boy, what is the school doing to keep him out of jail? And he's surprised by my question. He's surprised because what they were about to do was to put this boy on an extended suspension, where they send him home, send the work to his sick grandmother, right, to supervise him, knowing full well that she can't supervise him, and effectively wash their hands of him. A lot of our schools are pushing kids out onto the street. The kids we don't know how to serve, the kids that are bugging us because they're getting under our skin, we're pushing them out into the street. And again, I want to acknowledge, kids can't learn in a disruptive environment. Teachers need a sense of order for there to teach well. So this is not to say that you don't want order and safety. Those are essential. You do. The question is, how do you get it? How do you use discipline as a strategy to reinforce your core values, not to push kids out on the street? Lawrence Kohlberg, psychologist on moral development, wrote in the 1970s, the goal of discipline is not to teach kids to avoid punishment. The goal of discipline is to teach kids to do what's right even when we're not looking, so that they internalize a sense of right or wrong. They understand the values behind the rules. If you've got how many of you have a long list of rules of all the things you can't do at school? No hats? Everybody allowed to wear hats here in Houston? I guess cowboy hats is okay then? Well, in many schools I visit, there's a long list of rules up of all the things you can't do. It's rare for me to go to schools where they have explicitly teach the values. Kindness, courtesy, integrity, honesty, empathy. You need to teach those things. Can you assume the kids know them? No. And you need to model them for the kids. Character development needs to be embedded in the curriculum. It needs to be modeled. It needs to be taught. It needs to be explicit. Okay? Okay? So if you find you're at a school where you're seeing lots of behavior problems, you've got to go back to ask, what is there about the culture of this school that is contributing to these behavior problems? Okay? Because very often it's rooted in the culture. It's rooted in the weak and strained relationships between kids and school. Okay? And I would add here, if you have gang problems, how many have gang issues at your schools? Okay? Few of you. Just a few of the rest of you all, no gang problems. Everybody, okay? By now you figured out just say no to gangs probably won't work, right? Why not? Why do kids join gangs? What's the attraction of a gang? Family, social support, acceptance, rules, structure. Gangs also provide something really critical to kids. What's that? Love, security. Security. Talking to a group of kids, they told me, he said, until he became a Crip, he said, I could not use my cell phone in public. Someone would steal it. Couldn't wear the sneakers my grandmother got me. They'd take them. He said, now I can use my cell phone, wear my sneakers, I'm a Crip, and I got backup. I got backup. If they mess with me, I got a whole bunch of people they're going to have to answer to.